Hi everyone, Flaming Footy here and welcome back to another YouTube video on the channel. And today guys, we are going to be continuing our 3-game match reviews, and we are going to be reviewing the final 3 games of round 12 of the 2022 AFL season. Now for this, we're actually going to be going all the way back to Saturday night where the Demons played the Swans at the MCG. Then the Sunday games, Hawthorn VS Collingwood and Fremantle VS Brisbane, which ended a little bit later. That's why the 3-game match reviews normally go out on a Monday morning. It may still be out on the Monday morning, but it was also recorded that same morning. Normally I try and do it on the Sunday night, but couldn't. But anyway, first game will be Melbourne VS Sydney. We learnt a lot from these 3 games, as we always do. So let's just go ahead and hop right into things. Melbourne 9-7-61 get defeated by the Swans 10-13-73. Melbourne are going through a little bit of a not so great patch right now. They're having a really, they've been inconsistent in these past few weeks after having a very handy lead in the at the start of the game, and then losing it. Like, they were up by close to 30 points. I think it was 26 in that second term, and the Swans' second term was way too good, and they really wrangled momentum back into their favour after the first term. They were down by 20 at the first break. It was all Melbourne. It looked like they were going to come out and smash the Swans and have a real statement to prove. The second quarter, though, it was basically, well, not where it was turned around versus Freo last week, but the third quarter was where it was turned around. But the Swans did the job in the second quarter. They turned it around in the second term, and the Demons they kicked 2 goals in quarter 3 and 4. It's quite shocking, actually, because they kicked 2 goals in the second term, 1 in the third term, and 1 in the final term. Compared to the Swans, they got 5 in the second term, 0 in the third term, and 4 in the final term to walk away winners, only just, though, by 12 points. But the thing was, though, is that second quarter was really where they managed to bring momentum back into their favour, and really, they took the lead into half-time. But yeah, they just managed to bring it back into their favour and make a game of it, and that's exactly what they did. Third quarter, they were very lucky to be hanging on into the game, and then final term. The Demons kicked the first through Gawn, but the Swans came piling them back on to win the game. 32 disposal for Jack Viney, 3 goals for Logan McDonald, 149 fantasy for Gawn, 10 tackles for Callum Mills. Now, let's go to AFL Fantasy, 149 for Gawn, as I said, 126 for Mills, 114 for Reid, 102 for Oliver and Brayshaw. Now to the goals and behinds. McDonald did have a good day of things, 3 goals. Same for Gawn and Reid, as well as Fritz. Papley was also pretty dangerous as well. Disposals, 32 for Viney, 29 for Oliver, 28 for Gawn, and 26 for Mills, along with big ball getters, Petrarch at 25, and then Jordan and Brayshaw at 24, with the winger Langdon got 23. Now to the marks, 9 for Salem, Gawn and Lloyd, 8 for Heaney and McInerney. Tackles, wow, look at this. Look at these tackles. 10 for Mills, 10 for Reid, 9 for Parker, 8 for Rowbottom, 7 for McCartan and Oliver, 6 for Hayward, 5 for Goulden and Warner. The Swans are really applying the pressure. Every time Melbourne had the ball, they just won it straight back, and then they continued their surge. Max Gawn, 30 hit-outs, 16 for Laddams, 8 for Jackson, 4 for Reid, 1 for Brown. Now I'll go to some team stats, see if there's anything that looks outstanding. They both went inside 50 fair amount of times, 51-52 in the Swans' favour, setting up a really close and exciting contest. What else have we got? Hit-outs, clearances. Hit-outs was in favour of the Demons, but clearances was relatively even. Nothing else looking outstanding. The Demons did lead for the majority of the game, and Sydney's biggest margin being the winning margin as well. The second quarter is where the turnaround came, and Sydney have really saved their season at a point where it was looking on the edge. This was a big win and a really confident win. They needed to really fix up their season, and all of a sudden they do come right back into the talks of top 4 contention, because they did it without Buddy Franklin. Although the D's did have Stephen May out, however. Now to the first game on Sunday we go, where Hawthorn 10-8-68 couldn't quite get past a strong Collingwood outfit 10-12-72. Collingwood won by 4, and both teams have got some tough matches next week, but they are both definitely winnable for both clubs. Hawthorn got Freo, Collingwood got Melbourne. They are both very winnable, but they are up against some of the premiership favourites. Now, Collingwood probably should have had this game locked away right from the start. The Hawks came back in that third term to, well, really make a game of it. They really made a game of it, and the first quarter was all dominated by Collingwood. Looked like, all right, Collingwood will definitely be taking this game out by about 30 points or something. And then they did it again in the second quarter. They really strengthened out their lead. Third term, though, they only kicked the 1 goal, 1 behind to the Hawks. 4 goals, 1 behind. And the Hawks really wrangled it back into their favour. I think that might have been a goal late on the siren for Collingwood. I think it was, to bring the lead back into their favour at three-quarter time. But the Hawks, they were very quick to respond in that final term. And they got 2 goals, which gave them the lead, and then the Pies just good enough to wrangle momentum back. The Hawks kicked 3 behinds in that final term. Could have that been the difference right there, you see? That could have been the difference between a win and a loss. So, again, both teams played really well, though, and the Pies just being the better team. Nick Dacos, 36 disposal, what a young gun he is. Lewis, 4 goals, another amazing young gun. Darcy Cameron, 133 fantasy. And John Newcombe, 12 tackles, another amazing young gun. But this game was just better for Collingwood. But both teams really fought hard, and after Hawthorn's last week, they did need a response. And this is the perfect way to do it as well. AFL fantasy, 133 for Cameron, 112 for Mitchell, 109 for Dacos, who's injured. That will be Nick Dacos. 108 for Newcombe, 107 for Adams, 100 for Crisp, 97 for Lipinski, 96 for Sidebottom. Now we'll go to goals behinds. 4 goals for Lewis. He was, one of the best on-ground goal-wise. 2 goals for Henry and Ginnivan. They do kick plenty of goals, especially Ginnivan. He does get into the act. Disposals now. 36 for Dacos, and he managed to get injured, so that must have been a late injury to him. 32 for Mitchell, 29 for Lipinski, 28 for Adams, 26 for Cameron, 25 for Pendlebury and Crisp, and then 24 for Sicily. 9 marks for Cameron, 8 for Will Day. And then again, Sicily, he'll rack up a big number every week. 7 this time, 6 for Morrison and Moore, and then also 6 the first Pies player, or the second Pies player, Braden Maynard. Now for the tackles. John Newcombe does it every week with 12. 10 for O'Meara, 7 for Shields, Mitchell, McCreary, and Adams. Now to the hitouts we go. 30 for Reeves, 19 for Cameron, 17 for Cox, 5 for Kazitsky. And now to the team stats we go. Let's see if there's anything interesting here. The Pies went inside 50. They went inside plus 25. 25 more times than Hawthorn. So they probably could have won the game by a little bit more under their belt. Maybe a little bit more of a race inside 50s. Perhaps. The Pies dominated centre clearances, while the stoppage clearances was Hawthorn. Is there anything else here? Anything else? The Pies took way more marks inside 50, allowing you to go back, take a set shot, take 30 seconds off the clock. The Pies led for most of the game. And nothing else looking that great. So it is the Pies by 4 in a Sunday Classic at the MCG. And this is big for Collingwood, who go back into the 8 temporarily. And now to game of the round. There's no doubt about that it's game of the round. Freo 15-9-99. Beat the Lions 13-7-85. Flag mantle. Are they a thing in season 2022? My answer is probably yes. They can win the flag. Now, when finals comes around, if the Dockers make finals, which I'd be saying is almost a certainty now, they will lack finals experience, which can mess with players' heads sometimes. But if they can really just play like they are now, they do have a genuine crack at winning the flag, in my opinion. And Brisbane, this loss still doesn't mean too much. They got beaten by the better side, but they're still a very good team with lots of good players, and they've got a good crack at the flag again this year as well. So, go over the worm. The Dockers 1 goal 1 at quarter time. When you do play up against better teams, sometimes that just won't cut it, and they've been lucky against Melbourne and Brisbane that it hasn't really hurt them. But some teams can really hurt you in that first quarter. And not sure but if you saw the Dogs Cats, but it was 11-44, and that's where the game was lost for the Western Bulldogs, who tried to come back and fell 13 points short. They probably could have won that had a better first term. But luckily enough for Brisbane, it didn't. Luckily enough for the Dockers, Brisbane didn't get too out of hand in that first term, either 7-20. The second quarter was all Dockers. They wrangled their way back, only letting Brisbane get 2 goals at 1 goal 2, and they got 3 goals 2 to win the quarter. And then, well, no, not to win the quarter. Well, yes, to win the quarter, but Brisbane were in front at the half. Brisbane get an instant goal out in the third term. And then from there on, it's all Dockers. They kick 6 goals in the third term, build this staircase up to have the lead sitting around 20 points. So around there at 3/4 time, Brisbane make a last effort attempt, kicking 2 goals in a row to try and come back early on in the first term. The Dockers get the next 2, it hangs around 20. The Lions get 2 more, goes down to around 14. Dockers get 1, Lions get 1, but the margin hangs around 14 for the rest of the game. But the Lions tried in that final term to come back, but every time they tried, the Dockers just matched them. 39 disposals for Andrew Brayshaw. He does it week in, week out. 4 goals for Bailey Banfield. 131 fantasy for Andrew Brayshaw and 10 tackles for Jared Lyons. What a thriller and a ripper this one was, though. And the Dockers, this being the better of the sides by 14 points. 131 fantasy for Brayshaw, 125 for Rich. 123 for Ace, 118 for McCluggage, 112 for Lyons. 106 for Frederick, 104 for Sarong, 104 for Neil, 95 for Young, 91 for Zorko, and then the 2 small forwards for Brisbane, 87 for Bailey, 83 for Cameron. And then recruits, Will Brodie, 82, 72 for Clark, were also impressive, as well as Collier, 79. Now we'll go to the goals and behinds, because there would have definitely been a fair few of them. Bailey Banfield and Zach Bailey lit up the stadium with 4 goals each. Then 3 goals for Lob and Frederick, as well as Cameron. McStay and Logue, both with the 2 goals as well. And now we'll go to disposals. Let's see. 39 for Brayshaw, 32 for Rich, 31 for Sarong and Neil, 29 for Ace, 25 for Brodie, 24 for McCluggage and Lyons, as well as 23 for Young, 22 for Zach Bailey. Marks, 10 for Frederick and McCluggage, 9 for Ace, 8 for Young and Collier. Now we'll go to the tackles. 10 for Lions, 8 for Zorko, 7 for Sarong, 6 for Brayshaw, Clark and McCluggage. Now to the hit-outs we go. And 26 for Darcy, 25 for McInerney. Very even duel there. 19 for Fort, 12 for Meek. Pretty even, except the Lions just having the better in the hit-outs. And the Lions did go inside 50 more times than the Dockers as well. The Lions actually won the free kicks as well, so this one was a very hard-fought win by the Fremantle Dockers. Nothing looking great but in the clearances, but they did win clearances by 11, and the stoppage clearances was where the work was done by beating the Lions plus 12, and the Lions only beating the Dockers by plus 1 in centre clearances. This was a really good duel, however, of the best 2 teams, some of the best teams in the competition going at it. The Dockers did lead for most of the game, although they both led for a relatively even time, only the difference being about 9 minutes. And let's see, is there anything else? The biggest lead for the Dockers was 25 points as well. They win by 14. This was a brilliant match, second versus third, and the Dockers just being the better of the 2 sides. Flag mantle could be a thing, they win by 14. So that is a round all over. Western Bulldogs 70 cannot defeat the Cats 83. The Crows 88 got over the Eagles 57. The Suns 109 smashed the Roos 47. The Demons 61 could not get over Sydney 73. The Hawks 78 came close to Collingwood 72. And the Dockers 99 get over the Lions 85. Carlton, Essendon, Port Adelaide, Richmond, St Kilda and GWS all had byes this round. While next round, here's a little look ahead to what we have. Thursday night footy returns with Richmond and Port Adelaide. Absolute ripper there. Essendon Carlton on the Friday night. Nothing special about this one, but again, both these 2 teams coming after a bye, so it's going to be interesting to see. Freo play Hawthorn on the Saturday, and the Saturday nighter, though. it's also maybe going to be wet for this one, so could we see an upset? Maybe. Brisbane versus St Kilda will be a ripper. I reckon it's going to be an absolute ripper. You got two very good teams going head-to-head in this one. Two teams really wanting the top four. North versus GWS, again, nothing special about this game either. And then this one, Collingwood versus Melbourne. This one, I reckon, will be game of the round, personally. Adelaide, Geelong, Sydney, West Coast, Western Bulldogs, and Gold Coast having the byes. Round 13, we've got an absolute ripper. The ladder, look at this now. Fremantle, they go even on points with Brisbane, and they fall just one game behind Melbourne, who are in a rough patch. And if Melbourne lose to Collingwood, this will open the door for Collingwood to attack the top four if other results go their way. Of course, Collingwood do still have the bye, however, so that will impact. But very interesting stuff. And Collingwood are a chance at really attacking the top 8 this year as well. Although, again, Richmond's result will depend as well versus Port Adelaide. And Gold Coast are in the mix now as well. Port Adelaide, very important to see what they do. They need a win badly. And the Crows actually got up to 14th after their nice win, pushing the Giants down to 15th. However, they've got North next week while the Crows have their bye. So there'll be a little bit of an action between the Crows and the Giants shifting. But the big action here is the top 8 and top 4 starting to shape up now as well. But look at this, all the way down to 7th are basically almost equal on points. There's 4 points behind. And they're only 8 points behind Melbourne as well. So if Melbourne's losing patch goes on for a little while, well, there could be a new team that goes on in first. Well, anyway, the ladder, so interesting. I could talk about that forever, but we don't have time. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. So you guys' names and I'll be on the channel. Thank you guys all so much for watching. So bye everyone. Flaming Footy out.